Thank you, Alex. We have team coverage on this. First Coast News' Jeff Vallon. He has an interview with Chief Stowbridge. Let's go to him right now.
Yes, thanks. And Chief Mark Stowbridge is just here, came into the river to see Preserve, which is where we are and where we're seeing those choppers overhead. And we're just going to step right in on this interview.
There have been so many resources put into this. Who located it? Who spotted it? Because we've got some marsh here that's problematic.
We do. And again, you know, early on we talked about how crucial the air search was. We had helicopters up. They actually spotted it in a marshy area. So we're trying to get to it right now to find out exactly, to verify if it's the plane that went missing last night at 11 o'clock and who or the occupants are and what they're doing.
And Chief, about how long ago was this discovered?
Within the past 10 minutes ago.
And what can you tell us about how many people, any news about that, who or how many?
We don't have anything verified yet because we're still trying to get to it at the ground level. Right now we're kind of over the aircraft looking through it as best as we can, but it's a little bit difficult to say exactly who is in the aircraft at this time.
And Chief, over my shoulder there's a helicopter still hovering. Are you all still searching for anything?
No, it's not that we're searching for anything. We're just trying to guide the ground crews to come into the helicopter.
I see. Okay.
Chief, also, so we're understanding that this is this plane has a range of about 1,000 miles, four-seater. We don't know how many people were aboard. Is there any further confirmation about the flight itself?
Well, no, there isn't. Until we actually get next to the aircraft and are able to fully identify the airplane, we don't know if it's the one that's missing. But once we have that information, we'll be able to provide additional detail on who and what and where.
So not absolutely certain that this is the same plane, but what kind of parts have been found?
Well, we found several parts of what would be considered like the horizontal stabilizer and such in different locations. This is the main fuselage, the main body of the aircraft, if you will.
What kind of reports are you getting from perhaps witnesses?
Oh, we started receiving reports last night just after 11 o'clock that they heard engines sputtering and such. So we'll find him. We're relatively sure this is probably the airplane that we're looking for that the FAA informed us is down. So.
Can you confirm if this was in fact a pilot and a student from the flight school in Ormond Beach?
And until we know with great certainty the identity of the actual aircraft, and we're getting to that ground level now, we won't be able to tell you if that's the case or if that's not the case.
Is it possible they're still in there and inside the fuselage?
You know, and it is possible that they are. And again, we don't know condition or anything at this particular point in time.
So you're still considering this a rescue, not a recovery?
No, it is still a rescue operation, not a recovery operation.
And sir, you mentioned earlier that we're going to get an official press briefing with the sheriff at 12:30. Is that still on?
That press briefing is still on. He's collecting information right now over at the scene.
Okay, thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. And once again, that's Chief Mark Stowbridge, who is talking here from the river to see Preserve. Pretty much even just west of here is where we're seeing those choppers overhead that are pretty much hovering over the area of that crash, over near the Matanzas Inlet or a little bit south of that near Marineland. We're also hearing word that this was possibly a trainer aircraft. We do know that the Piper PA44 is a very popular training aircraft, multi-engine, so presumably whoever was flying that plane would have had plenty of experience flying, but we don't know how many hours at a multi-engine, let alone in IFR conditions, which is overnight. In other words, when you can't see the ground, because a private pilot license is just for anything where you can see the ground and not in clouds. You have to have that private pilot license before you can get your IFR, before you can get your multi-engine. So somebody flying that presumably would have had a fair amount of flying experience, but again, we don't know how much in instrument conditions, let alone in multi-engine. We're going to send it back to you now.